Have you ever noticed how quickly things can change as you get older? One day you're up on your feet without a second thought, and the next, you're hesitating before getting out of bed or wondering if that little ache in your knee is something more. Maybe you've caught yourself holding onto the walls for balance or avoiding that second trip up the stairs because it just feels harder. You're not alone. And if you've ever thought to yourself, I just want to stay strong enough to live on my own, that thought matters. Because your independence is something worth protecting. And you don't need fancy gym memberships or complicated routines to do it. Today, we're going to talk about something simple, but incredibly powerful. Movement. Specifically, the daily movements that help keep you strong, steady, and capable. Movements that, quite honestly, can be the difference between staying in your home and being forced into care you don't want. I'm not being dramatic when I say that. It's the small things, done regularly, that keep you on your feet and in control of your life. And I don't mean hours of exercise or sweating until you're sore. I mean simple, smart, consistent movements that support your muscles, your balance, and your confidence. Movements that you can do right at home, every day, without equipment. Just your body, a little bit of space, and the willingness to keep showing up for yourself. Let's start with the foundation of it all. Getting up and down. Sounds basic, right? But being able to move from a seated position to standing and back again is one of the clearest signs of functional independence. And the truth is, too many people stop practicing it. Chairs get softer, sofas get lower, and little by little it becomes harder. So here's what I want you to try. Once or twice a day, take a sturdy chair, one with a firm seat and no wheels, and simply stand up without using your hands. Don't rush. Focus on using your legs, your core, your breathing, and then sit back down. Do it a few times in a row and you'll feel it, not just in your muscles, but in your sense of control. Because when you know you can rise without assistance, something shifts in your mind. You stop second-guessing. You stop apologizing for needing help when you don't. You start trusting your own body again. Next, let's talk about balance. Have you ever had that tiny scare? When you turn too quickly or miss a step and your heart skips a beat because you felt yourself wobble? Balance isn't just about grace. It's about safety, about confidence in every step you take. One of the most overlooked but powerful daily movements is single-leg standing. You can do it while brushing your teeth, washing dishes, or even waiting for the kettle to boil. Stand tall, lift one foot just an inch or two off the ground, and hold. Keep a hand near the counter if you need it, especially at first. What this does is activate the small, stabilizing muscles in your hips and legs. These are the same muscles that help you walk steadily, climb stairs, and recover from a stumble. And the beautiful part? It only takes a few minutes a day. Now, if you're someone who uses a cane or walker, or if you're recovering from an injury, don't worry, you can adapt. Try shifting your weight side to side while standing, or gently lifting your heels off the ground and lowering them again. These micro movements may seem small, but they build strength and awareness that protect you from falls. And here's something else to think about. How often do you reach up or twist or turn in daily life? Reaching for a shelf, twisting to grab something from behind you, turning in your seat to look out a window? These motions matter more than we realize. That's why it's so important to keep your upper body moving too. One simple movement is a seated torso twist. Sit upright in your chair, place your right hand on your left knee, and gently turn your upper body to the left. Then reverse. Breathe through it. Go slowly. This keeps your spine mobile, your core engaged, and your back from stiffening over time. When your body stays loose and flexible, you're more willing to move. And movement creates momentum. It keeps you from getting stuck, literally and emotionally. Let me share something with you. A man named James, age 74, once told me that what scared him most about aging wasn't dying. It was the idea of needing someone else to help him with everything. He said, "I don't want to be a burden. I just want to be able to make my own coffee and take my own walks." That's what this is really about. Not about impressing anyone. Not about looking younger or pretending you're 40 again. It's about being able to live your life the way you want to dress yourself, to take care of your space, to move through your day without fear or hesitation. And the secret isn't in doing big things once in a while. It's in doing small, smart things every day. So if you're watching this and thinking, but I've slowed down, I'm not sure I can even start. Start smaller. Start today. Maybe it's just standing up and sitting down a few times. Maybe it's holding the counter while you lift your heels and breathe. But don't wait for someone to tell you it's time to get help. Let your actions today be the reason you won't need it tomorrow. There's something powerful about reclaiming the little things, especially when you live alone or want to keep your independence for as long as possible. You don't need anyone's permission to start, and you don't need to prove anything to the world. This is about you, your body, your space, your life. And what we're focusing on today are the daily movements that aren't about exercise for the sake of exercise. These are the movements that mirror real life, the ones that keep you capable, steady, and confident in your own skin. We've already talked about standing up from a chair, about balance, and those essential twists that keep your spine and torso flexible. But another piece of the puzzle, the one most people overlook, is reaching. Think for a moment about how often you reach for things. Reaching up to a shelf, reaching forward to open a door, reaching sideways to grab something off the counter. These aren't dramatic moves, but if you stop doing them, they stop being available to you. That's why daily reaching is more than just a stretch. It's a statement. It says, I still use my body. I still live in my space. A great way to incorporate this is to practice overhead reaching. Stand or sit tall, raise both arms slowly up toward the ceiling, hold for a few seconds, and then lower them back down. If your shoulders are stiff, keep a slight bend in your elbows. You're not trying to touch the sky. You're just reminding your muscles they still have work to do. Now think about how often you bend. Picking something up from the floor. Putting on socks. Getting laundry out of the basket. If you avoid bending because it feels risky or hard, over time your body forgets how. One daily movement you can try is a supported squat. Don't let the word squat scare you off. This just means practicing the motion of bending and standing again, safely. Stand in front of a counter or sturdy chair, feet shoulder-width apart, and slowly bend your knees just a little, keeping your back straight and your hands resting lightly for support. Then straighten back up. Do this slowly. Breathe. Let your body remember how to lower itself and rise again. This is how you train your body to pick things up safely and with control. It's not about depth, it's about practice. You're not working out, you're working with your body. There's a man named Leonard I met not too long ago. He's 79, lives on his own, and still makes pancakes from scratch every Sunday. He told me something that stuck with me. He said, every time I bend to get the frying pan, I'm practicing staying out of a nursing home. He was joking, but there was truth in it. Because when you keep your muscles active and your movements intentional, you're not just preventing weakness. You're maintaining control over your environment. You're keeping your independence rooted in ability. Let's talk a little about walking. Not walking long distances, not walking laps around the block, just walking in your home. Sometimes people think if they're not doing 10,000 steps a day, they're not doing enough. But that's not true, especially as you age. What matters more is how often you move, not how far. Set a little timer if you need to, or simply remind yourself to stand up and walk around the house once an hour. It can be a slow stroll to the bathroom, a few laps around the living room, or walking to check the mail. These small bursts of movement keep your circulation flowing, your joints lubricated, and your muscles activated. You're telling your body, we're still going, we're still useful. And speaking of usefulness, don't underestimate the value of grip strength. Being able to open jars, turn doorknobs, carry a grocery bag, all of these actions rely on hand and forearm strength. You don't need hand weights or gym equipment to improve this. You can simply take a soft ball or even a rolled up towel and squeeze it in your hand a few times a day. Hold, then release. Switch hands. There are even little rubber grip rings you can keep by your chair or bedside table. Every squeeze helps maintain the strength you need for everyday tasks that most people take for granted, until they can't do them anymore. Let me share a quick story about Ruth. She's 85, lives in a small bungalow, and insists on doing her own laundry. One day, her washing machine lid jammed. She couldn't get it open. She called her grandson, frustrated, and he said gently, "Grandma, maybe it's time you let someone else handle this stuff." That one sentence shook her. Not because it was rude, but because it sounded like the first hint of someone else taking the reins. So Ruth started doing grip exercises, light arm work, simple things. A few months later, she opened that washer like a champ, and she called me laughing, saying, "I'm not letting anyone take over unless I say so." That's what this is about. It's not about resisting help. It's about making sure you decide when and how you receive it. When you live alone, you need to feel in charge of your body, your space, and your safety. And the beautiful thing is, that kind of strength doesn't come from big workouts or big promises. It comes from small, repeated, intentional movements that remind your body that it still belongs to you. You are not fragile. You are not fading. You're just entering a season where care looks a little different, a little slower, and a whole lot smarter. So whether it's reaching, bending, gripping, or simply walking to the next room, every movement you make is a vote for your independence. Keep moving. Keep choosing yourself. You don't need a big routine, just a reason to keep showing up. And you already have that. Because your freedom is worth protecting. And your body still knows how to help you do it. One of the most beautiful things about the human body is that it's never too late to teach it something new. And when you're over 70, those lessons don't have to be grand or intense. They just have to be intentional. Every small thing you do, every gentle movement you commit to, is a quiet investment in your future self. A promise that you're still here, still active, still making choices that matter. We've already talked about movements that mimic your daily life. Getting up, sitting down, bending, reaching, balancing, and walking. But there's one final layer that pulls it all together, and that's posture and breath. Now, I know that might not sound like a big deal. You might think posture is just about looking polite, sitting up straight like your mother taught you. But here's the truth. Good posture is the anchor of almost every movement your body makes, and breathing well is what fuels all of it. Let's start with posture. When you slouch, whether sitting in your favorite chair or leaning over your phone, you put pressure on your back, your hips, even your lungs. Over time, that adds up. It makes it harder to take deep breaths, harder to move freely, and easier to lose strength without even realizing it. Try this right now. Wherever you're sitting, lift your chest just a little, roll your shoulders back and down, and gently tuck your chin so your neck feels long. Don't force it. Just lift and settle. Now breathe. Feel that? It's easier to fill your lungs, easier to feel connected to your body. This isn't about looking younger. It's about moving better. Posture affects everything from digestion to energy levels to your sense of stability. If you stand like you're grounded, you'll feel grounded. And breath? Breath is the quiet power you carry with you everywhere. Deep, steady breathing helps regulate your heart rate, calms anxiety, increases oxygen to your muscles, and even sharpens your focus. Yet so many of us, especially with age, get into the habit of shallow chest breathing. Short, quick, almost unnoticed. So here's a simple daily habit you can build. Just a few minutes each morning, sit comfortably, place one hand on your belly and one on your chest. Breathe in slowly through your nose and feel your belly rise. Then exhale gently through your mouth. Try to make the exhale longer than the inhale. That's where the calm lives. If you do this for even 3 to 5 minutes a day, you'll notice a difference. Your mind will feel clearer, your steps steadier, your whole body just a bit more at ease. And here's something important. When your posture and breath are working together, you feel more in control. You don't startle as easily. You don't feel rushed. You move with intention. And that's exactly what keeps you steady and safe. Now, I know it's easy to feel overwhelmed with advice. Maybe you're thinking, there's no way I can remember all this. I don't want to turn every hour into a workout routine. And you're absolutely right. This isn't about giving you more to do. It's about helping you see that the things you already do, the movements you make in your own home, can be powerful tools for staying independent. The real magic isn't in the motion. It's in the mindset. There's a woman named Eileen I used to visit. She was 82, lived in a tidy little apartment with an orchid she kept on the windowsill. Eileen didn't go to the gym. She didn't do yoga, but she had a rule. Never let the remote be too close. She'd place it across the room on purpose, just so she'd have to get up to change the channel. She called it her commercial break workout. It made me smile every time, but it was smart. She was staying mobile, staying engaged, refusing to let comfort slowly turn into weakness. That's the key. Finding your rhythm. Making movement part of your routine without turning your life upside down. Maybe for you, it's standing up during phone calls, or balancing on one foot while brushing your teeth, or squeezing a ball while you listen to your favorite radio show. You don't have to change everything. You just have to change a few things and stick with them. Because here's the truth. I hope you hold on to. Strength doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't always look like lifting weights or walking 5 miles a day. Sometimes strength looks like getting up without help. Cooking your own meal, reaching the top shelf, bending to tie your shoe without holding your breath. Sometimes strength is quiet, but it's there. And independence? It's not about doing everything alone. It's about having the ability to choose, to move safely, confidently, and freely, to decide what your day looks like without needing someone else to get you there. If you're watching this and feeling unsure, if a part of you is wondering whether it's too late to start, please hear me when I say, it's not. Your body hasn't given up on you, and you shouldn't give up on it. Start small. Stay consistent. Be gentle with yourself when it feels hard, and proud of yourself when it feels easy. And most of all, keep showing up. The life you want to live is still here. It's still yours. It just asks for one thing in return: movement. So move in ways that make you feel alive. Move in ways that keep you strong. Move in ways that protect your peace and preserve your independence. And remember, every time you do, even just a little, you're choosing to stay right where you want to be, in charge of your own life. Now, if you found any part of this video helpful, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what movements or habits you've added to your day that help you feel stronger or more independent. And if this spoke to you, consider liking the video and subscribing for more honest, empowering guidance designed just for you. Here's to a body that moves, a mind that believes, and a spirit that stays free. You've got this, and I'm cheering for you.